All right, guys, as we've seen, the transfer window is popping off and Man City are doing what they are known for doing. They're spending money to get rid of their problems. They are splashing cash. To be fair, they're getting a lot of good deals in as well. But they are making signing after signing. It feels like every day I wake up and I see a Fabrizio Romano tweet saying, here we go, someone is going to Man City. And they're making a lot of signings because obviously they had an off season. Do we think the players that they're bringing in are enough for them to compete next season for the title?
100%.
I think they're quality. I think they're making quality signings.
Yeah.
It's
scary.
So are you all in agreement that they are? It's looking scary.
My thing with Man City, is that it doesn't matter who they bring in. I just feel with Pep, this is his last season, right?
Yeah.
I feel he's just got some...
potentially.
He might
It's
sign
not his
on.
last season.
No, but
on the contract.
I feel he's the type of guy, he's won... What has he won? Pretty much every season he's managed by like 2 or 3 seasons.
Bar last season and his first season in the Prem.
Yeah. So for a guy like that, I thought he took that personally and he's going to be on a mad one.
For sure.
He could have the most medius players in the Man City team, but he'll be putting them through a ring of fire and saying, nah, I'm not having this. I want to win. I want to win. I want to just go all out guns blazing.
I wonder how they line up next year.
Yeah.
I think I think, every time he's not done as well as he's meant to, he completely changes the system.
This is the biggest
the signings
reshift.
they brought in and the players are potentially going to sell. Like, I think it's going to be a major shift up.
I mean, he practically has 2 11s, realistically. You know.
I wouldn't.
The depth is a lot better than it was. Say, I don't know if you lot remember, tail end of last season, the season that just went. I remember looking at City's bench. It might have been the FA Cup final, I remember looking at their bench thinking, this is weak.
It was.
It's very weak compared to what we're used to City having.
Team,
But playing devil's advocate, because obviously you lot all saying, I agree. Firstly, just a disclaimer, I agree. I think all the signings are class. I think Reijnders is class. I think Cherki is probably bound to be a world-class player if he fits the system.
I think Cherki feels like I don't know what the word is.
Nah.
I don't know. It doesn't. He's not. He's the least guaranteed out of all their signings. That's my thing. There's no doubt on his ability. Especially because
for Pep's system as well.
Because how Foden was, and now he's tailed off.
Yeah.
Bernardo Silva ain't really doing the same thing in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah.
And KDB, he's not replacing KDB.
Yeah.
But now next season, like we'll see what type of how he deploys Reijnders, especially with Rodri. But now like the pressure is on.
Yeah.
Cherki and Foden, you man have to pattern up and do what you need to do.
Especially Foden, especially after the year he's had.
Because if he lets a 30 million signing snatch his chain, it looks long for him.
He's always been keyed up as the player after KDB.
Yeah, the guy.
There's no that guy.
And there's no doubt for both of them that they have the ability to do so. But I think it's the biggest shift since Man City's when De Bruyne, like the first few seasons of Pep. I think
once
KDB, Sane,
once like David Silva left, I think that sort of transition after that is like the big transition.
When they got Kyle Walker, Mendy.
He goes through transitions quite a lot though, because knowing Pep, like
that was so many different. That was the biggest one.
Yeah, I agree with you because in terms of like he's been at the top transitioning. This is the first time we've seen him in the Premier League where he's hit a low point and he's now trying to get out of that low point.
It's not guaranteed for the Premier League season.
Talking on Cherki really quick, I think 30 million is a bargain. I think
so
even if you have quality, even if you have a good number 10, I don't know why any other team in the Premier League besides us, obviously, because we went for Verts. Even us though, I think 30 million nowadays. 30 million for a player, if he doesn't bang, it's whatever. It's 30 mil. It's 30 mil down the drain. Exactly.
You sell it about Frimpong separately, but the same thing. Like it's a cheap thing. If it doesn't work,
it's whatever. It's
so
whatever.
Many, and there's a lot of top clubs. The Lap as well.
Yeah, and you mentioned
sliding the Lap real quick.
You know when you're talking about Cherki level talent, you mentioned the Lap. That is bad.
We'll see.
Cherki is a maverick.
Yeah, you alluded to it before with Cherki's ability. I think there's no question on his ability. I think in terms of number 10s, especially because we know number 10s in the world right now. Actually, it's a position that's actually getting a lot better recently.
In the season, it's good. Next season is going to be serious.
Yeah, isn't it? 150 mil.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with it. I'm getting a proven player.
Be serious. Look, Palmer, Verts, Rodgers. What?
You were close.
Fernandez, there's a few
good number 10s. I feel like they all reside within the league as well.
Eze's and stuff like that as well.
Exactly.
The Damsgaards.
Even actually Cunha, don't sleep on Cunha either, bro. No, because
I'm
honestly,
not
like,
sold on Cunha, but
really, what, am I a minority here?
No, I'm sold on Cunha,
I
but
don't think it's. I think
I don't
it's
think it's
off the ball.
I don't think it's a
I
mentality.
think
for
you
it.
know what?
yeah, I was gonna say it's a mentality issue for me.
No,
think
yeah,
it's a
true,
mentality for it.
but
Same thing with Cherki. To be fair, that's the main complaint. Like,
Yeah.
he has
His
bad
defensive-
attitude.
No, but I
His
think that's a
defensive
myth. You know,
contribution,
I don't
yeah.
think. I think the attitude thing is it's a bit overstated.
Also,
I get where they're coming from.
Yeah.
You know, people that are like, "Oh, will he run for Pep?" Though, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, I don't think off the ball his work rate is very good. I haven't watched every Cherki game in it, so maybe I'm wrong. But like off the ball, I don't think his movement's bad. But I understand. You know, with KDB, for example, later in his career, Pep gave him the license to do what he wants because KDB, he earned the right to do so, innit?
Yeah.
Whereas with Cherki, you're looking at a guy who's coming in for 30 mil. Pep is not going to give him the reins to do whatever he wants. He's going to ask for him to trap back. He's going to ask for him to press off the
Cherki's
ball.
not as versatile, bro.
And yeah, he's not. Realistically, it's playing the 10 or you don't.
You
You're
say
not
that,
playing.
you say that, but he is both-footed. He has
No,
played
he's
in the
very
wing
both-footed.
not in that
He's very
way. In
both-footed.
terms of like KDB, you came as a 10.
Oh yeah.
And you eventually
Kind of
became
thing.
a centre
Yeah.
midfielder, innit?
And also-
Whereas Cherki is
He's either left wing, cam.
Yeah.
He's a
off the
tackler.
I
ball.
also do think
He's a
physicality is a question mark. Not concern, but question mark. Because obviously Ligue 1. I mean, I've watched Ligue 1 quite a bit this season because of like Strasbourg, and I want to see like Andrew Santos and whatnot.
Fair.
Cherki,
That is a shit.
Real Chelsea.
Yeah,
fan.
no,
Real Chelsea
like,
fan.
that's
no,
upper
like,
Chelsea.
bro, I love that stuff, bro. I can't lie. But Cherki is someone who I've watched quite a bit, and like he's not really physically testing Ligue 1. Ligue 1 is still physical, but it's not the same caliber. Nowhere near.
Yeah.
And
I think it'll be interesting to see how it goes with Cherki.
yeah.
But you can see all the upside's completely there. It's just whether he can live up to that talent.
Yeah. Also, speaking on the other signings, obviously they made Ait Nouri a signing for City as well. They're linked to Livramento, so they're fully just going for new fullbacks. I agree. Like I was saying before at the start of the video, I know all these players are good signings. Do you not think maybe next year just will be early to compete because it's a new squad essentially. It'll be a new 11.
No.
I don't think so. Because with Pep, all the players sort of buy into his system.
No.
They buy into it, but
they're willing to play for him.
No,
because
but
he's
they
that
do.
type of manager.
No, but there is always Pep signings take a year.
Oh wow,
to
that's
bed
what I
in.
was
That
gonna
is
say,
true.
bro.
That is
Like
true.
Pep, it feels like when you join a Pep team, you need a marination phase.
Yeah.
Where like you get used to playing under him to
I
begin
agree.
with. There's not many players that just hit the
Hit the
ground
ground
running
running
under
from-
Pep.
But
The
on
only
the
one
other-
I can think of recently is Haaland.
But on the other side, Marmoush kinda. But
Marmoush
on the-
kind of.
Yeah.
But on the other
I don't even say
side,
kind of. I said like, bro, he's
Gavardio
really
as well.
pressed.
No, he took a while. to
Yeah,
settle.
because remember he played him as centre back and he came out and said he's not
Can't
good
play
enough to
him
play
centre
centre
back,
back.
Well, but Pep's probably saying, "Rah, Liverpool, they won the league with 86
Yeah.
points, like 86 points last season."
Yeah.
And then he's thinking,
With this team, I can beat 86
And then he's thinking,
points.
Arsenal.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You know
Facts.
what, like,
so
City have every.
for me,
like, they can win it.
They can.
Easily.
I'm not disputing
Yeah.
they can. I just think squad cohesion wise, I think maybe we might look at a problem. You are right. It is Pep. It might be Pep's last season. Maybe he just goes for it. But at the same time, like how many times in football have we said nowadays, it's this person's last season? They're gonna go for it, or they're taking it personally.
this is Pep,
like you know how many times
yeah.
I've seen Salah come out and say, "We need to win this one against Real Madrid."
Yeah. Oh,
No, but-
It
no, but-
doesn't mean much to me,
no,
bro.
but, no,
I'll
but
be
this,
honest
no,
with
but
you.
this is Pep.
Yeah.
It's like
Bro,
I
Pep,
know.
Pep,
You know he's
there's just
mentally-
certain inevitables in football.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lot
but-
last question. We got 15 seconds. Yeah.
Okay.
Really last question. In terms of Pep's legacy, if he can't, after all these signings, if he can't back his team to win the league next season, are we looking at Pep differently?
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
Alright,
70
He's done
titles
too
would be
much
that.
in his career to.
Yeah, 70
say that.
titles in eight
Yeah.
seasons. Yeah, forget
Too
that.
good.